Hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm excited that we are here finally. I want to start by apologizing. We had some technical delay. We would have been live by 7, but due to some delay, we moved it an hour later, which is 8 o'clock. And I'm happy that some of us are still here till now. So if you're here, please just drop your favorite emoji in the comments. I'd like to know who those who are here, introduce yourself, where you're watching from, what you're expecting from today's webinar. It's going to be a fireful session tonight. It's going to be educative, it's going to be insightful, and I'm certain that you're going to be learning a lot today. So if you're here, just introduce yourself in the comments, introduce yourself and where you're watching from. I don't want to feel alone today. So just go ahead and introduce yourself. In the next few minutes, our slide will be up. If you can hear me, introduce yourself. I know I'm not here alone. Okay. Mhm. Okay, just a moment. Our slide will be up. I'm not seeing anybody's comment yet. I'm just trying to fix the slide. Okay. All right. So our slide is up now. Can you see my slide? Oh, it's showing blank. All right. So my slide is up now. So I want to welcome every one of us to today's webinar. It's going to be a wonderful session together. I'm trusting that as we've come together to learn on how to develop ownership mindset in your team. Now, the reason why we came up with this particular conversation is because we've gotten a lot of feedback from business owners. I'm going to share a lot of feedback. It's going to be a very interactive time together. So go ahead and invite someone to join us. If you have a friend who is a business owner, please go ahead and invite them to join us live. Also, as you're joining in, please subscribe to the channel so that you're going to get notifications when we are live and we'll drop content, and you'll be updated on some of the things that we're doing. Now, on Tribe Leadership Consult page, one thing that you can be sure of is that you're going to be taught different leadership principles, practices, very practical. If for anything you know about Joyce, I'm a very practical person. I'm not someone who believes in, yeah, sorry, saying so much and then just sounding very theoretical. But you're going to be sure that you're going to learn what you can use today and begin to see results in your business, in your organization, and the growth that is needed. So if you're joining us live, please go ahead, invite someone to join us here, invite your friends to join us here, and let's do this together. We're not going to spend a lot of time together today. We're going to be hitting the things that we need to hit, and we're going to keep moving. Yeah, so welcome once again to our live session today. And we're going, like I said, we're talking about how to develop ownership mindset. I've met a lot of business owners who always complain about their teams. Oh, my team is not doesn't have an ownership mindset. Oh, my team is this, my team members are that, and they're wondering what the problem is. The truth is, you are depending on people's home training or their what do you call it, or their discretion to own your business, to own what they do in your company. But it doesn't just happen. You can be fortunate to have two, three, four persons join your team that have an ownership mindset. You may be fortunate to have that, but you can't depend on luck when it comes to hiring. You need to have systems that enable your team members to develop the right mindset, and in this case, an ownership mindset. So if you're meeting me today for the first time, my name is Joyce Kenneth. I'm a distinguished and internationally respected corporate leadership trainer, human resource strategist, and business consultant, also a speaker and an author of the book Small Team Big Results. And also, I have another book I'm launching on my birthday this year. Yes, I have another book I'm launching. These are just different sides of who I am. And in this training, we're going to delve deep into what it means to build an ownership mindset in your team. Now, the first thing I want to establish is understanding what ownership mindset is. I've seen that there are too many misconceptions. When people are saying that their team members lack ownership mindset, they mean a whole lot of things. They mean a whole lot of things. It's not the same. Now, I said what ownership mindset is not. It's good that we understand what it is not before we get into what it is. The first point I said here is ownership mindset is not it's not about allowing people to figure out things by themselves in your business when you should be providing clarity. Sometimes you see people hire people to the organizations. Listen to me, some of us who are listening may be part of those who are doing this. You hire a person into your organization, you don't give them job descriptions, you don't onboard them, you expect that they should come in and know what to do and move your business forward. As a leader, you're the chief clarity officer of your business. It is your responsibility to provide direction. It is your responsibility to provide clarity concerning the vision, mission, and values of your business. It is your responsibility to provide clarity concerning the roles people ought to play in your business. So even up until now, I still deal with cases of people, of leaders who employ people, employers who employ people to come into the organizations, and the people don't even have job description. And those same employers are complaining that these their team members who are confused lack ownership mindset. Without clarity, there cannot be productivity. If you're not clear, if people are not clear what they should be doing in their system or in your system, they are going to lack, they will not be productive because their performance can't even be measured. They have to guess what they're doing. They're not even sure if they're meeting the company's expectation. So ownership mindset is not allowing people to figure out things by themselves in your business and start, carrying it on their head and all of that. That's not, so you can't judge a person who lacks clarity that they don't have ownership mindset. They don't have anything to own. What are you going to own when you're not clear about what you should own? So they have nothing to own. The second thing ownership mindset is not about feeling entitled for your team to use their personal resources for corporate responsibilities. Yeah, now see what this means. For example, I remember we hired a digital marketer for a company. And while we did that, you know, the company owners did not provide work tools for this staff. They simply told the staff, oh, a digital marketer, if you have your own system, you can start working with it. If you have a phone, you can open the company's social media pages on your phone. As how can you come resume? This is how many days you've been resuming with us. You've not taken initiative. You to use your phone or your devices to handle company's responsibility. It's not this, it's not that. And because of that, they fired the person. So when I was speaking with that business owner, I made him understand that ownership mindset is not about telling people to use their own resources to carry out their response. It's not possible. If you want people to own what they do, it means that you must be willing to provide the work tools that they need. You must be willing to provide the work tools that they need. If you don't provide work tools for your team members and expect them to use their own resources to run your business, then you cannot talk about ownership mindset. Now, because of that seeming situation, the company leaders, laid off this staff and asked the staff to leave the company. The person doesn't have an ownership mindset. Now, guess what? Before she left, she started to use her phone, open the company's social media pages, and operate it from her phone and all of that. And when she was laid off, she did not give them the password to the account she created, and that made the company to start afresh, to start creating social media accounts. And she said they had not paid her, so she was not going to release the login details. And also the company lost their social media pages, which they had just started, because they depended on the staff to use their own personal resources for corporate responsibilities. That is not how you judge ownership mindset. So don't be that employer who feels entitled and say, oh, who do I use? Nkechi, you're going to help us get this, get that. The company needs this and all of that. And after you provide responsibility, the person is looking at you and wondering, okay, we are the work tools. And you're looking at them saying, if you have an ownership mindset to use your money and do this, you don't feel entitled to the resources of your team members. It is your responsibility to provide work tools. If they need to use systems, to use phones, to use whatever, in fact, it is for your safety that you provide work tools for work to be done in your business. Now, how the employer who lost a social media account, how do you think he's going to feel? How do you think he's going to feel? He lost social media account because he told the staff to use her phone. Now, you even have business owners who tell their employees to use their phone to make business calls. The other day, we are trying to get someone who works in the company. We got their flyer, opened up the flyer, and then we saw a contact there. We called the person and said, oh, sorry, this is who we are, and we're trying to get your services. And said, oh, I'm no longer with that company. What is the phone number of a staff doing in a corporate document? Is that ownership mindset? What is the phone number doing in a corporate document? Because they use their personal. At that point, the young lady started asking us that she works with a different company and we can use them instead. Now, this is how you lose prospect, because you're thinking that ownership mindset is about you using your personal resources for corporate purposes. It is good that you separate your business from yourself, and not from yourself, from your team members. So there should be a corporate line. Every interaction should happen through that corporate line. Some of the major hurts business owners face come because it comes from them. And I say that because some of the challenges, like, oh, somebody left our business and she's diverting our staff, she's diverting our customers to her new business, is because you give them access to those customers' detail by allowing them use their personal resources to contact those customers. So if you don't want to experience hurt in relationship, in your business relationship, it is good that you make the separation. So stop telling people, oh, you don't have an ownership mindset. You did not use your money to do this. You did not use your phone to do this. You'd have done this. You'd have done that. You'd have done this. Please, boss, provide resources for your team members to do the work you employ them to do. The third thing I wrote here, that ownership mindset is not. I said ownership mindset is not about demanding people to do more than what is required by them by their employment contract. Everybody came into a company based on a contract that was agreed upon. The contract included time for resumption and time for closing, time for this and time for that. So you don't expect and say, if you have an ownership mindset, you just work with us. You know that we have not done for the day. We have to work until the work gets done. Now, dear leader, know something. When people accept to work in your organization, they accepted it based on the fact that it could align with their private arrangements. What do I mean? For example, let's say I'm a married woman, I have kids, and I took this job because it closes by 5 and would allow me to get home, say by 6, and I can attend to my domestic responsibilities. And now I'm told to work till 8. And not just because it is being appealed or because I love it, but because I am forced to work till 8 because we are not done with work, and I must be there. Maybe I'm a leader in a church, in a local assembly, and I took this job because it allows me time to attend to my other responsibilities. And now it's been imposed upon me that I must work additional hours when it was not agreed upon. And most times, these additional hours, most private companies do not pay for overtime. They surcharge you for coming late, but they don't pay you for working extra. That's where there's an injustice in the system. Because think about it, some of us here, the other day I asked on Facebook, how do you handle tardiness? How do you handle lateness in your organization? Some persons say, oh, we surcharge, we surcharge, we surcharge, we surcharge. Why you surcharge? When a person comes 30 minutes late and they're surcharged, when they work 30 minutes extra, does the system balance it out? That's a question I don't talk about today. But you don't impose it on people to do more than what is expected of them. There's a process that brings people to the place where they go the extra mile in your business, not because you demand it, but because they want to. When they want to do it, a person will even sleep over at the office. And I'm going to teach us how to develop that mindset that will allow a team member stay over and give more than what is expected of them, because they want to see what we are building thrive. But once it's demanded and imposed, oh, you must work till 8. We have not closed until work is done. You cannot start a business and not have closing hours. Now, haba. Will you start a business and not have a time to close? Do you think that your business is the only thing that everybody thinks about? Even me, I'm a business owner. Aside being a business owner, I'm a mother of 2 children. I am a wife to an amazing husband. I'm a leader in my local church assembly. I'm also a friend. I have a lot of commitments on my hand. So I am not thinking that my team members have no single commitment in their hands apart from being in my office. You'll be deluded to think that your business is the only thing that people think about. I don't know if you're getting value from this session, because I like to take it real and I like to go very practical. These are real things happening in organizations every other day, and people are asking, what should we do? Some staff members are frustrated. Some of them are still in your business because if they leave, they don't have any other option of fending for themselves. So they're taking your business not even as something they really love to do, but as a necessary evil that they must do just to get by in life and survive. Of course, we know that the economic conditions have been quite harsh. So people are looking for just any alternative on how to get by. So don't make your business the one that becomes a necessary evil for people to get by just so they can have their daily bread. If you're getting value from this session, I want you to drop your emojis. I want to get feedback in the comments. Those of us who are in, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for adjusting to the new time, even on short notice, and being a part of this webinar. It's going to be quick and it's going to hit the nail on the head. Now, let's look at the other side of the box. What then is ownership mindset? What then is ownership mindset? Ownership mindset is about people taking full responsibility for their work and being responsible for the outcome. When a person has an ownership mindset, they take responsibility for the outcome of their work. They know that if this is the goal I'm supposed to hit, there are no excuses. I'm going to hit this goal. But like I said, ownership mindset is not just developed because you employ the person. There's a process to making people own what they do in your company. Ownership mindset can be expressed as resourcefulness in maximizing resources to actualize goals. When a person has an ownership mindset, if we have a goal that would have costed us 10,000 naira to accomplish, and all that we have, for that particular work is 6,000 or 7,000 naira, a person who has ownership mindset will look out for ways, because we become very resourceful to look out for alternative, not inferior alternative that will cost us less and yet deliver on the same level of excellence that we want, just so that we can make that goal achieved. So a person who has an ownership mindset will always express resourcefulness in carrying out their work. And the third thing I said is ownership mindset is about being empowered to make certain decisions that will lead to the expected outcome. A person who has ownership mindset must be empowered with the authority to make certain decisions. If people feel helpless in their work, if they feel that they can't do, they don't have the power to make certain decisions, to make things move in their role, it's going to affect their sense of ownership on that role. And I said here, when there's ownership mindset, people commit way beyond their contracts. They're not even looking at the terms. Some people, they won't even remember what they signed the document. All they want is to see the goal achieved. On the other side, remember I said that you don't demand this. It's not something tell people you must work till 9 p.m. because we have a job to kick out. When you demand it, people, even if they stay till 9 p.m. and their bodies are there, they may not deliver with the same level of commitment they would have if their whole body, mind, and spirit and their soul was involved in that work. So you don't demand people to go the extra mile. People who have an ownership mindset become willing to commit even beyond the terms of the contract that they signed. And that's why leadership is key. If all you have with your staff is transactional relationship, where all they know that are going to get from you is salary, you cannot imbibe an ownership mindset. It will be joy. You know what transaction is? It's give and take relationship. Give me my salary, I give you what you paid for. But when it's a transformational leadership style you're employing, you're concerned about the people even beyond the work that they do in your organization. I saw a post by an employer some time ago. I thought about it. Now, in these things that we're talking about, there's no right and wrong. It's just that you must know the consequence of whichever path you choose to take. There's nothing right or wrong about being transactional in your leadership approach. I pay you, do what you want. It's just what is about give and take. The only the downfall or the pit of that transactional relationship is that people will never give anything beyond what they are going to get. So if they're going to work 2 minutes extra, you pay them for 2 minutes extra because transaction. Have you gone to market and you bought something and then you just pack the no. Whatever you pick up in the market, you pay for it. They don't, except they used to advertise, which I've not seen that kind of advert in a very long time. When they say buy one, get one free. It was when we were small. When I was still very young, I used to hear those kind of adverts. Buy one, get one free. Buy two, get one free. Now anything you pick, you pay for it. Nothing is free. When Bolt started, the Bolt app for rides, they'll tell you when you're a new customer, your first trip is free. See, that time, some of us that have sense will go and open different Bolt app in different phones with different phone number. You'll be a first timer for like 5 times. But now, nothing is free. Nothing. If you like be a first timer, you pay the money. In fact, plus the way both drivers that don't even add extra bill for you. So nothing is free anymore. So transactional relationship means that whatever I am asked to do, I must be paid for it. If I'm going to go beyond what my terms says, I'll be paid for it. If my time said I'm supposed to just lift one brick, and you tell me to lift two, you're going to pay me for the extra one. Is that how you want to build your business? Like I said, it's not a wrong approach if you like it. I've worked in a place where that was the approach, and they pay you. In fact, if you're going to work extra, they pay you more than what your regular hourly pay is. I've worked in that kind of system before, and it's good when we don't commit beyond what we say. It's exactly what you say. Is what I say. We do it, and is that what you want as a leader? But when it's a transformational relationship, you don't pay for everything. You don't pay for extra commitment. They do it. Something happened in my organization a few weeks ago. The team went for marketing on their usual marketing day, and then a particular business unit. And when they encountered someone who says, "Oh, we have an association of persons who this information is going to be very beneficial to. Can you come and talk to them? We'll have our meeting on Saturday." Saturday was not a work day. But they said, yes, we're going to do it because our department has a goal to meet. So if it means us coming out on Saturday to do it, they were not asking for overtime. They were not asking for, so if I come out on Saturday now, how much are you going to pay me? It is another, how much are you going to pay me? And all of they were not asking for that. All they were concerned about was that they were getting the job done. Well, what I had with them or what the management had with the team members was transactional, before they agreed, they'll say, "Sir, our extra money is 5,000 naira for coming out today." Is it wrong to pay overtime? No. But you don't want to build a relationship where you pay for every single thing that you get. So that's the difference between what ownership mindset is not and what ownership mindset is. I hope it's clear. I hope it's clear. I'm trying to be as practical because these are real things that happen within organization. Now, I want us to look at this skill. This skill is balanced, and it has ownership and accountability. Ownership and accountability. If people possess an ownership mindset or attitude, and it is not balanced with accountability, you know what will happen is as though you have cancer in your system. When people own their work and they are doing it, and there's no means for them to be accountable to the system, they will run off. It's like cancer. Cancer starts to multiply by itself in the body. It starts to multiply without control. You can't even control what the body is doing anymore. Before you know, that particular part has an issue. So when ownership mindset is not properly balanced with an accountability system within the organization, you'll be breeding cancer. A person will be going, doing their own thing. Before you know, they're out of system and they have spoiled the system. Like, but this person was a very good person, was a very loyal person. He has turned against. He did not turn against you. There was no system of accountability, to guarantee that the expected outcome was going to happen. So wherever you have ownership, please have systems, report systems, and make it accountable. Because even if you own your tax, you should report to look at in a company. That's why you have organizational structures. Somebody must report to somebody. Somebody must report to somebody. Nobody is a solo. Nobody in the world. We have different levels of accountabilities. There's someone that must keep track to make sure that what you're doing is still in line with our ultimate goal. Thank you to everyone with their feedback. Thank you, Monica, Chidube, Ifoma. Thank you so much for the feedback. Amazing. I'm glad that you're getting value from this. So you must have accountability systems within your organization to make sure that ownership is balanced. If you lack if you don't have organizational structure, you can't even determine who the accountabilities are. From the job description, you should state who is accountable to who. This is who you report to, and this is who you take report from. So there must be proper accountability. Let people not own their tax without giving reports. If not, you won't even know when they've gone off track or when they're doing what they're not supposed to do. So if you're here, please remember to subscribe to the channel and call the attention of other people to this webinar. All right, so now let's look at this. I said some of us think that ownership mindset begins after you have employed a person. We've employed you, you're doing your work, and then now we want to teach you ownership. Ownership mindset actually begins before employment happens. It begins before employment happens. So during your recruitment process, there are certain things that you should have started asking to understand the kind of person that you're hiring. Because if you don't ask those questions, you'll now be sounding very surprised when they are not giving the kind of outcome or the kind of feedback or the kind of attitude that you expect from them because you ignored certain vital components in your recruitment and selection process. I was talking with a business owner some time ago, and he made a comment. He said, Joyce, I don't like paying my staff, not because you don't have the money, but because I feel like we're paying fools. How many of you feel like you're paying fools in your company? I laughed and I told him, well, I understand what you mean when you say that it seems like you're paying fools, more like you're paying people who are not doing what they're supposed to do. But I said, these seeming fools did not just walk into your company and put their name on your payroll to be paid. There was a system that brought them into, there's a system that brought these fools into your business. And that is your recruitment and your selection process. That's the gateway to your company. That's the gateway. If you don't pay attention and systematize the way you recruit people and select people in your business, it's as though you're building a city without walls. Anybody gets in. So when you say, when people tell you, oh, it's not recruitment, it's not just to ask questions, it's not just ask one or two questions, and then tell me, oh, pay for recruitment. Like, no, recruitment fee is too high. It's not just to ask questions. It's not just this. It is just that role. But whoever you permit through the gates of your organization will have great impact on your ultimate outcome. That is why you must pay attention to the processes that bring people in. In my book, Small Team Big Results, I talked about some of the questions you can ask even during the interview phase to determine people who possess an ownership mindset. If you miss it at your recruitment level, some people have been lucky to get good staff without good recruitment systems. But like I said, when it comes to selecting your team, you cannot depend on luck. You cannot depend on luck. So if you want to build a team with an ownership mindset, it begins with your recruitment and your selection process. Not now, not after hiring. It's like saying you have hired and then you have to deal with the consequence of your hiring. No, you can start the process during the recruitment and selection. Part of the things that you have to even sell your vision to them at the recruitment phase before they come into your company. Are you getting value? Oh, this is a quote I made and I love this quote so much. If you're getting value, I don't want to feel alone in the room. Keep dropping your comments. If you have questions, you can drop them in the comments as we proceed. We're going to look at them and answer them. Now, I said here, when it comes to building an ownership mindset, please pay attention to this. When it comes to building an ownership mindset in your team, people do not own tasks, they own vision. I'm going to explain this because this is the foundational thing when it comes to ownership. You employ someone to be a cleaner in your organization, and you want them to own their work as cleaners. People don't own tasks. What they own is the vision that fuels the task that they perform. So I heard this story about, was it Rockefeller? I'm trying to remember, when America was trying to get to the moon or to space, all of that. And they had this janitor, this cleaner in their company. And they asked her, why are you here? Why are you doing this work you do? And she said, she's a cleaner, but this was her response. I'm helping America to get to space. Her cleaning was her own contribution in helping America to get to space. So what that means is that when people own vision, they start to see their tasks as how do I put it? As translating from the vision that they have gotten. They see their tasks as an outpost. So you can employ, now we've employed people who we didn't tell them, oh, your work is to buy fuel in the office, your work is to do this. But they came in, okay, currently we don't have a cleaner in the office because of how we operate, but the team members take responsibility to make sure that the place is all cleaned up. without being told. Do they like sweeping? Is sweeping their passion? It's not their passion, but because they are bought into our vision, anybody wants to do everything to see that we prosper in what we are doing. So when it comes to building an ownership mindset, like I said, people don't own tax, people own vision. People don't own tax, people own vision. So if you want to get people to be committed to their tax, you need to sell a vision to them. If you want to get people to be committed to their tax, you need to sell what? A vision to them. When people, the greatest work of any leader is vision communication. Communicating the vision to your team consistently and allowing them to see how they fit into that big picture will empower them to buy into your vision. And when they buy into the vision, they will do anything within that vision so that that work prospers. If it means us working to 10, if it means us sleeping over at the office today, if it means us extending hours, if it means us sacrificing certain privileges, whatever is going to take us to see that this vision works. If I need to take up extra responsibility, if I need to learn a new skill, if I need whatever is going to take for us to see that this vision prospers, they're going to take it up. So, like I said again, when it comes to building an ownership mindset, people do not own tax, they own vision. I hope you're getting value from the session tonight. If you're getting value, the feedbacks are very much welcome. The feedbacks are very much welcome. I'd like to see them in the comments, and let's go forward together. Now, the next thing, we're almost rounding up. I think so. The next thing here is strategies. What are the strategies I must implement to birth ownership mindset in my team? What are the strategies I must implement to birth ownership mindset in my team? Number one here says lead by example. I'm going to share a very interesting story with us. So there's this employer who we met. He was trying to consult with us, and he told us, his staff members were nonchalant, his staff members did not own their work, excuses here and there. He was complaining that they lacked ownership mindset. So he paid us money and said, go and audit my team. I want to see those that must leave our system. Who are we? Obedient consultants. We said, okay, we're going to have an audit session to see. Now, during the audit session, it looked like the situation turned around because most of the team members felt that, in fact, one of them said, I don't think this man is the real owner of this business because of how he treats the business. I don't think he's the real owner. Nobody that has a business will be treating their business like this. Ah, one even said, how do you tell your boss we lack work tools? We have clients who are waiting, and he chooses to ignore your calls. He knows that these things have implication, and he chooses to ignore your calls. If I once said, I can swear that this company does not belong, either he's running in for somebody. Now, I was listening to the staff members, and what I was hearing was that the owner lacked ownership mindset. That you own a business does not mean that you have an ownership mindset. Some of us know that even our businesses, the way we are running it, is enough for people to doubt that that business belongs to us. It will look like an inheritance. Even inheritance is better. So the fact that you're the business owner, you answer CEO and all the big titles, chief executive officer, chief lead strategist, chief. The fact that you are the chief everything officer in your business does not in any way mean that you have an ownership mindset. So we saw in this company that as much as the owner thought or felt that the team members lacked an ownership mindset, the team members equally felt that the owner lacked an ownership mindset. When an owner has no ownership mindset, we have a case. You have a strong case. Like, owner does not have ownership. Owner makes you an owner if you have no ownership mindset. So when we're done, we told the business owner, you have, because of your nonchalance in attending to certain company issues and things that come up during work, because of your nonchalant attitude, you have made your team members feel like, if this guy will not take his business serious, is it not me that we carry it on my head? Do you see? He by himself started and replicated the culture of nonchalance without knowing. Leaders, truth is, nobody will own your business more than you. It is a commitment you give to your business that will empower others to commit. Sometimes we don't commit, we want people to just commit more than us. Why should they? You who brought out your money to start a business will not commit. And you want somebody else who you're hiring and paying, maybe even peanuts sometimes, even when you're not paying very well, to now give their all. It doesn't work. It is your commitment that inspires commitment in your team members. So I'm asking the few of us who are gathered here and those who are going to watch later, this commitment that you have towards your organization, if your team members commit to that same extent concerning what they do in your organization, will you be happy? Do you think that because you're paying somebody hundreds of thousands, they should commit to it even when you don't? How do you feel the one following up your boss? We need to do these things. It's affecting our process. We need to. People are complaining that he's dodging, like you're dodging. One of them says he dodges us. When he sees us, he will dodge. He doesn't pick our calls. We'll be in urgent office situations, urgent fix and all that. We'll be calling our owner. The owner will not pick. He's avoiding us. How do you avoid your team members? Why did you start the company? You know, these are very funny things that sometimes you hear and you're like, it's serious. So I don't know if you understand that. I believe that we're following through. The second thing here is, if you're going to birth ownership mindset in your team members, you must provide consistent vision, clarity, and alignment. What that means is that your work, like I previously said, as a leader, is that you are the chief, you are the chief clarity officer. Communicating the vision consistently, you must provide consistent vision clarity. This is where we are headed. This is how our growth is going to benefit you. This is how you fit into the big picture. In the next few years, these are the big things that we see. People like to be part of causes that are bigger than themselves. And when you commit to, I want to ask you, when was the last time you shared the vision of your company to your team? When was the last time? Or all you talk about is income. How much are we making? Revenue, sales. Without sales, we don't have a business. Without sales, we don't have a, without profit, we don't have, I know that without sales, you don't have a business. But do you know that to produce the sale that you desire, you must play up your vision? When you play up your vision and your values and you build a brand that can be trusted, the sales will come because people have come to trust you. Culture affects profitability. It's like I'm talking about what I want to write later, but let's keep going. So it's your work to provide that measure of clarity, and not just clarity, ensuring that your team members are aligned to that vision. Do they see how they fit into your vision? Do they see how that vision will make them better people in the future? If they don't see nothing, they commit nothing. While they are working in your business, they'll even use your data and go and apply for job. They'll use your data, they'll use your office time and go for job interview. They'll be using you to be achieving their own goal, because there's no goal within the company that spurs them on to want to grow. When you consistently communicate vision and provide clarity and alignment, people will commit to it. Once they commit to it, they will start to own whatever tax that comes from that. Am I clear? Are we together? Is this value? Is this something that you think you love to learn about? The third thing here is provide adequate work resources. Provide adequate work resources. Remember that we said at the beginning, ownership mindset is not about demanding for people to use their personal resources for corporate responsibility. So if you hire people and you want them to own it, you frustrate a person when you give them work without empowering them to do the work. How do you tell me to go and give someone an injection and there's no injection to give? By the time that happens, consistently, before you know, I get used to not having work tools and then I become redundant. That even when there are work tools, I've mastered the act of not even working, because you have already, imbibed me to the culture of not having resources to work. So provide adequate work resources. Stop imposing on your team members to use what they have to get the company's work done. As much as some people say, no, they should use their own resources. So In the near future, you see the dangers of that because it's going to backfire. So it's always best that you empower people to use their own to use the company's resources to achieve the company's goal. And the fourth thing is delegate authority. When you give people responsibility, put enough of decision making within that role that as far as it empowers them to achieve the corporate goal within clear corporate standards. They won't cut corners. There are things we will never do to achieve our goals. We will not lie, we will not steal, we will not do this. So allow them, give them authority to carry out their work. Please, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And as we go ahead, would answer them. So I want you to ask yourself these quick questions. What challenges am I currently experiencing in building a team with an ownership mindset? What are those challenges? Have you thought about them? Have you documented them? These are the areas, even from the things we've talked about. Some of us may have started seeing the areas where we are responsible, for the downfall or the lack of ownership mindset our team members are experiencing. The second thing here says, am I willing to pay the price to get it right in building my business and establishing the right foundational framework for my team to thrive? It's one thing to see what is not right, it's another thing entirely to be willing to pay the price, to make the adjustment. I've seen leaders who want change but can't pay the price for change. See, change is not easy. I'll be very honest with you. It's not easy to you think about your personal life. For example, you say I want to start working out every morning. It takes a lot of discipline to start, working on yourself to get into that framework where you want to start waking up early, working out, getting your discipline and all of putting those structures in place. But are you willing to pay the price that will help you get it right when it comes to building your business and establishing the right foundational framework for your team to thrive? Now, pay attention to this. There's an intentional process to building a thriving and sustainable organization, and that is what we are all about. Remember that in Thrive is all about empowering leaders to build thriving and sustainable organization. More questions to ask yourself. I want to ask you, so those of us who are still here, how many of you are excited about all we've just talked about? What we've talked about, you're like, wow, I'm seeing where I'm not getting it right. I'm seeing what I need to do. How many of you are excited about what we talked about developing an ownership mindset? You can drop in the comment, oh, I'm excited about this. I'm also going to ask you, do you think having the right team is important to you? Do you think having team members who have who have this ownership mindset is important to you? And finally, when you are able to build the right team in your business, what would life look like for you? Omo, it's sweet. Business is sweet when you do it with the right people. I'm telling you from experience, business is sweet. The frustrating part of business is when you're building with the wrong people. That's why I tell leaders, what you're building in your business, that big vision, is also as important as who you're building it with. What you're building in that business is also as important as the who. Your team members can make or mar your business. It is the people that bring visions to pass. Nothing big ever gets accomplished running solo, which means that at every point in time, we are bringing in people to push what we are doing. And if we bring in the wrong people into our business, they have everything it takes to sabotage the success of your business. So how would you feel having these people, right people? What would life look like? Life would be good because you can go on vacation. Let's even leave vacation. Some of us can't even travel for training. Because if we travel, things will scatter. Some of us can't even even go and pick our kids from school, because that 2 hours or 1 hour we used to go and pick our kids from school, we're not sure what will happen before we come back. Some of us got into entrepreneurship because we heard that you're looking for time freedom. I don't work in another man's business, working 9 to 5. I want to work my own time. I want to be in charge of my time. You wanted time freedom, and now when you were working as a staff, you were working 9 to 5. Now you're now working 5 to 9, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. You have doubled your time because entrepreneurship is very demanding. But it was also very frustrating when you hire team members, and at the end of the day, you end up doing the work for which you hired these team members to do. So I'm asking again, what will your life look like if you build your business with the right team? So I need your permission quickly. We've come to the end of the webinar about how to build, but I want to talk to you about certain other things in the next few minutes. Now we are hosting the employers and HR hangout, right? Right, where it's I love it because it's something that we are pushing. We are trying to bring in new culture in the way people do business. There's a way business has to be done. There's a way business has to be done. I can tell you there is a way. You don't leave how you do things to chance. You know what? I'm a HR, I'm a human resource strategist. I love to train, I love team, I love doing all those things. But I not just that I feel, I know that most of the frustrations of organizations are dependent on the leadership of the organizations. As a country, we'll complain and say, oh, see how things are in our country. We don't like this. But do you know that it is the leadership of the country that has brought us to where we are? According to John C. Maxwell, he says that everything rises and falls on leadership. And for me, the greatest thing about leaders is that leaders are culture shapers. So even while we do our general HR work with organizations, Thrive is committed to working with corporate leaders, employers, to make sure that, see, you cannot be accusing your team members of everything that goes wrong. Oh, in my company, see the culture, see how things are being done. I don't like this, I don't like that. But guy, you are the one that unconsciously or consciously planted that culture. A leader is like a gardener in an organization. A leader is like a gardener in an organization. That leader determines what grows and what lives in that organization. So if you are the gardener and you don't pay attention to planting and imbibing the right culture, when you don't tend the garden, what happens? Weeds grow, thorns grow, grass grow, flowers grow. In fact, the thorns can choke the life of the plants. So it's easy for bad culture to grow than good culture. In fact, it takes time to build culture, especially when it's a good behavior, a good culture. It takes time. It's easy. I don't know if it's human nature, but it seems like it's easy for us to learn bad things. That's how I feel. When you have children, it's easier to learn the bad things than the good things. So when you don't intentionally plant the right culture, what begins to happen is that anything can grow in your business, and usually it's the negative culture that predominates. So at the HR employers and HR hangout, what we do is that we bring employers together, human resource managers together, because they are the key decision makers and key culture shapers in organization. And we start learning the strategies on how we can build winning teams for our overall business success. Because people make businesses. And we had our first session in February, and we're having the second one that's for Nigeria on. We put 30th May, but as at yesterday, we had to make a change to the date. The new date is 6th of June. And the reason is because on the 30th of May, this is Southeast, it's happening in Owerri, Imo State. In the Southeast, there'll be a sit at home because of the IPOB sit at home thing to recognize fallen heroes and all of that. So it will be a huge security risk for us to put out any event on that day. Even if there'll be some kind of movement, but you don't want people to risk their life. We have people coming in from Enugu, from Port Harcourt, and all of that. You don't want people to risk their lives because of a training. So we had to move it to the next Thursday, which is the 6th of June. That will be effected going forward in all our publicity materials. 6th of June, we are having the physical. And now the very good thing is that we have opened it up to have both physical and virtual participation. So even if you're not going to be in Owerri, you say, "Oh, I want to attend. I'm in the US. I'm in Lagos. I'm in Abuja. I'm in Osun. I'm in Ogun State. I'm in Abia. I'm here. Can I still attend?" Yes, you can. The fee is the same for both physical and virtual participation. Every single material and resources that will be given to those attending physically, even the certificates that will be issued, all will also be given to those who are attending virtually. So if you want to secure your slot, you can quickly send a message to 090. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to put in the comment 0901 410 1990. It's in the comment there. 0901 410 1990. And if the payment details is also there on the flyer, I'm going to also bring it up. And also, we are going to have our employers and HR hangout for Ghana. Do I have anybody in Ghana here? Ghana is going to hear us in the next few weeks. On the 21st and on the 2nd of June, we're going to be in Ghana for the employers and HR hangouts. We're going to talk. If you know me, I talk real. I don't paint things. I've I've worked as an employer. I've also worked as an employee. I've been on both sides of the of the deal, and I know what it seems like to be on either side. Now, in this particular edition of the Employers and HR Hangout, we're going to delve deep into executive leadership, into business strategy development, into career development, career plan development for your team members, performance management for teams. We're going to have games, executive games, leadership case studies. It's going to be fun, and of course, we're going to have good meal. We're going to play games. It's a hangout, so it's going to be what a mixture of fun and learning in a very creative way. So if you want to secure your slot, go ahead and make payment of 55,750 into the account details there, Sterling Bank 009 631 9661. It's going to come up again in the course of this. Now, these are some of the pictures from the previous hangout we had. Exciting times, good times of networking, great times of learning, exposure, and it was really very impactful. In fact, the feedback we got from the first one was what empowered us to go for a second one. If you look here, you have people from real estate, people from the retail industry giving their feedback on the ideas, the strategies that they learned, and how they intend to implement it to move their businesses forward. Now, these are 4 reasons you should be part of this. Number 1, when you attend the Employers and HR Hangout, you're going to build avenues work and build relationship. We're going to Thrive Leadership Consult 009 631 9661. And once you're done, you forward the details to the phone number in the chat or to the email info.thrive.leadershipconsult@gmail.com. Also, you can get my book. You can get my book. This is a book I wrote here, Small Team Big Results, and it's been one of my greatest know that. And reach out to me for a 90 minutes consultation session where we delve deep into the challenges you're experiencing and the strategies you must start implementing to get yourself out of whatever fix you may have been in. As long as it has to do with your business structure, your systems, or your human resource, and you're having some challenges, you can book a 90 minutes consultation session and reach out to me. All right. So quickly before we end the webinar, if you have questions, please drop them. I'll be happy to respond. This is organized by Thrive Leadership Consult, and we exist to empower leaders to build thriving and sustainable organizations through winning teams. We work with corporate leaders and executives to create empowering systems and structures for their teams to thrive. Our core foundational belief is that people are like seeds. If you create the right environment and nurture them, they are going to thrive. That's the truth. So that's our foundational philosophy. And we believe that leadership is empowered with the responsibility to create the right systems and structures in business. So that is why we are focused on leadership. A couple of what we do is listed there, but we'll go over that later. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. You can contact us with the phone number on the screen, the email, and we are currently located physically in Owerri, Nigeria. You can contact us with any of the details, and we're excited that you join in on this session. So if you have any questions to ask, please feel free to reach out to us with the number with the phone number on the screen, or you can send an email and we can schedule a time to talk. So thank you so much for empowered to build your business in the way you will be proud of. So thank you to everyone who joined in. I don't have any questions in the comments. I don't have any questions there. So if you have any questions, you can still reach out to us with the phone numbers on the screen, or I think it's already in the comment over some of these things. So thank you so much. You want to be a part of the employers and HR hangout. You want to get a copy of small team big results. You want to book a session, then